Welcome to the GMIHub online. Today we are going to be talking about merchandising, and we're going to be talking about how that can help you as an artist to help your branding, to help your product, to help to expand your pool of interest to what you are doing. Thanks for joining us at GMIHub online, and I am Dale Borland.
Hi, everyone. This is Cheryl. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here to join us today. We are very excited that we are going to be talking about merchandising and creating your e-store. If you're an artist that is at the stage where you are wanting to take your music or support your music in another way, merchandising is the way to go. Branding is the way to go. And with us, we have two fabulous guys that are in the industry. We have all the way from the GTA, Nolan M of Apparel Promotion. Nolan has been in the industry for 10 plus years, a little over 10 years, creating branding items, promotional items for mostly for corporations, but he's got some great ideas for entrepreneurs. Thanks so much, Nolan, for being here.
Excited to be here, Cheryl. Thanks.
And all the way from the London area, we have Jay Panasico. I love saying your name, Jay. It's so cool. Jay, read this. He's been in the business for 20 plus years, doing making a lot of creative things like logos and branding, merchandising. He's worked for companies or acts in musical bands like the Trues. So, and that's just one. I'm sure Jay can tell us more, but I am so thrilled, Jay, that you're able to be with us because he not only creates branding items, but he also knows how to do e-stores. And we're going to learn more about that. Thanks so much, Jay, for being here.
Hey, thank you very much, Cheryl. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks.
I appreciate you both being here. Maybe we should start off with the question of what is merchandising. We're talking about a different type of thing when it comes to retail than what we're talking about. We speak of merchandising. What is it exactly?
Well, merchandising is simply just being able to put your brand in front of people, putting it to people to recognize you, to build that awareness, create engagement with your customer or fan base. And that's what we do is be able to kind of point you in the right direction and get the right items in your hand, because as we all know, and as we all probably have in our homes, in our drawers, in our cupboards, on our desks, tens, thousands, millions of pens and brandable things, but what are the right things? So being able to merchandise exactly the message you're trying to send, to me, that's what it is.
Jay, what would you say? How would you add to that?
Well, basically, I'd say merchandising is basically representing your brand with some sort of a physical product that you can buy and bring home, and it puts something from your brand in the hands of your consumer, right? So basically, it gives you something that you can that people feel closer to the product or to the band or whatever it is that they're interested in or they're invested in, right? So they'll buy something, whether that's your t-shirt or whether that's an ashtray or anything, right? I mean, pretty much think of souvenir shops. I mean, that's merchandising right there, right?
That's true. That's true. You both said brand, and I know that some people would say branding, that's an obvious statement, but for those who aren't clear about what branding is, how would you define that?
Well, for me, branding, I mean, it's your colors, your look, right? Your feel. The Coca-Cola can, it's always red and white, right? I mean, it's one of the most recognized logos in the world. You'll always see it. But when it's your brand is the thing that visually shows who you are, right? You have to have a good one, and you have to keep it up, right? And I mean, there's so many things that go with logos. You don't actually realize it, but as a designer, say like the other day, I was working with the 3M logo, and I literally put a line of text a millimeter too close to it, and that was no good, right? They have a safe zone. You can't put anything within so many centimeters above and so many centimeters below the logo, because that's their brand, and you can't mess with it. You can't have anything too close to it, right? So I mean, the brand is a very important part of what you're doing.
That's good.
Absolutely. Your brand is going to be what it is, and it's the message that you're sending. But the goal, I think, is you want to create a message and you want to create awareness and you want to create a memory, especially in what we're talking about here in the music industry. Create a memory, man. Those any shirt you've ever bought or seen at a concert that has a tour date on it, there's so much pride in the person that bought that, owns that, wears that, because you know what? They were there.
Yep.
And that's cool. So if you can create that awareness and create a memory within your brand, then you're off to the races. And when it comes to creating a logo to go with the brand, like you were saying, Jay, years ago, what feels like a different lifetime ago, I had learned something. It really is as basic when creating a logo. If you can draw it in the sand with a stick, that's your logo. Other than maybe Coca-Cola, I can't think of a handful that aren't Nike.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Adidas, Puma. They're all very simple, and you can draw them with a sand and stick, and that's how you're going to remember it.
The KISS principle.
Being able to create keep it simple, right? Keep it simple all day long.
And that is so cool to remember, because it's very easy in the desire to be more unique. It's very easy to want to be a little bit more fancy with our logos, especially in music. We want to put things like, a guitar player will want to put some kind of an image of a guitar with their initials or something like that, or maybe the music staff or something like that. We want to do something that may not be simple.
The products that I have in mind wouldn't be what I have in mind. It's first a conversation to figure out what you want as the artist, what message you're saying, what message you want to send. Those are the items we're going to go in on. Having said that, your ROI that you speak of, Dale, colors. When you're printing something, whether it's a t-shirt or a speaker or a hat or whatever it is you're doing, your colors and locations add cost. So if you have a 10 color t-shirt and it's all, you got your sleeves and your back and your front, the cost for that t-shirt is going to be so high. I mean, unless you're selling it for $75, $80, you're not going to make any money on it. So
I try to
1-2 color logo on the front, you're good to go. Sorry, Jay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I try to, but most of the designs that I do, I always try to stay within 3 colors. Right.
Yeah.
And then, obviously a bigger band, someone like, I'm trying to think off top head, KISS, Five Finger, some bands like that, some of the heavy metal band, if they're making a lot of money, they're doing 6-8 color shirts, but they are selling.
They know they're going to sell out.
They're selling them for $55-$60 a t-shirt at the concert. Right. But you're exactly right. Try to keep the colors down. Right. There's little tricks you can do too, right? I mean, obviously you do embroidery. So do you do patches, Nolan? You do patches, yes. Right? So to embroider straight on a hat costs more money than making 100 patches, but those patches you can put on the hat, you can put on a t-shirt, you can put on a scarf, so you can use them a bunch of more places, right?
Correct. There are tricks to the trade for sure.
So here's this kind of leads a little bit to the merchandising ideas now, because one thing I noticed about our artists, they not only want to brand or send a message about themselves, is sometimes they want to brand or send a message about their actual, for example, their song or some kind of something that they've created. And the messages may be slightly different. And Jay, you can kind of confirm this, because I think you worked with artists that do kind of both. They have their image as a band, but then if there's a particular song, they try to promote that song title. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Like, go back to the Trues. During COVID, they released a song called Godspeed Rebel, where they each recorded their parts at home and put the video together, and they released a video. So they wanted to do a bundle for it. So the actual shirt, it's a shirt, it's a single, it's a mask. I forget what else is in the bundle, but they put together, a bundle of some things, right? And sometimes that's a good way when you're doing your merch too, because you can, if you got a shirt and then you throw in like a koozie, right? And the koozie goes into the bundle, it's worked into the cost, but you seem like you're getting
the value add.
Right. Yeah. So, you can throw little things like that. For yesterday, I just designed a Trues Christmas card. And then when you buy the bundle, they're going to hand sign them and send them, right? So you'll get an actual autographed card from, so there's little things like that draw you in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, it can be specific. It can be as a whole. Yeah, definitely.
Would you say the common items or promotional items are t-shirts? Is that the most common?
I'd
Yeah,
say,
I want to say the number one item for, yeah, and you're going to agree, Jay, with in the band world, in the music world, it's going to be t-shirts and or apparel.
right.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what corporate, you know, you might be what, pens or things like that,
Stationery,
right? I don't
There,
know.
there is no number one in the corporate world, but
No.
yes, bands
Yeah.
and merchandise, t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
T-shirts.
some artists are kind of gearing or steering away from that. They're trying to get more of the corporate stuff, like the cups. Since you gave me that inspiration, Nolan, like cups, or I don't know, or maybe because of COVID, they're starting to get the masks now
Well,
with
that's,
their
yeah, it
logo
was,
on.
right.
And Jay, do you have that mask that you did? There it is. Let's see what it's just a. Imagine this is your brand on there, So it's just a whole. It's a
Okay,
great
Jay
idea.
Let's see. Hold
So,
on. Don't take it off yet, Jay. Let's see it. We got to get a look at this.
You did.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
You can just imagine that if that was your logo of your artist or your brand on there, and everybody would be wearing it.
yeah, well, no, that's Helix. A couple weeks ago, I went and was shooting a video. We were shooting a new video with them. And obviously with social distancing, they had some line dancers. And that's the lead singer. He told me, Brian, he said he wanted the logo right in the middle and big, and everybody's wearing one in the video, and everyone's got a Helix t-shirt on with the big logo on the front. I mean, that's when you see this video, everything is just Helix, right? Like
Right.
you see it, right?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
branded.
So
Did you design that one?
this mask, yeah.
That's amazing.
And
That's
we did a corona, everyone's doing coronavirus t-shirts right now too, like the Corona tour, like My Sofa, Shoppers Drug Mart, whatever. These are the locations that you could go to, right? On live stream, whatever. But
So what are some common examples of merchandise or promotional items that people, artists, whoever, can put their logo or their brand on? Just some examples. I know you've mentioned t-shirts, clothing.
Well, Nolan's probably got a whole shelf full of stuff on the back. I mean, we do, I guess you probably do the sling bags, right? Nolan, you do these, right? So these are actually fairly inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this would be, well, I guess this is a 2-color print, right? So sling bags, posters, masks, keychains. For a band, guitar players will get pick sets. You get 5 different picks with the band logo on it, I guess, right? Get some picks stamped. Like I said, these were very cool. These were limited edition posters that were screen printed on cardboard. So this is one that I did for the Trues.
Wow.
And and these, they made 100 of them and they went like that.
Yeah.
Instantly. Those are awesome.
It's a good graphic. Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, but I mean, basically, and your CDs, I guess, right? Obviously, if you're, well, I mean, like I'm speaking from a band perspective, right? That would all be on your merch store. We're doing some scarves right now. Christmas is coming up, right?
Yeah.
So you do a toque and a scarf
Totally.
with a embroidered patch on the, here, or
On the front of the toque.
on the scarf, right? So
Yeah. That's great.
Okay, we just launched a Christmas CD on, which is a compilation CD, and it's not even, it's not just one artist, it's a series of different artists that are on there contributing original music. And on the front of that, we have a picture of Christmas socks. And just like, it's like a family of, well, you don't see the faces, what you see is all these feet in Christmas socks in front of a fireplace. And one of the things we thought about is, oh, it'd be so cool to get Christmas socks and sell them.
exactly, yeah.
But wouldn't that be hard to?
No. Jay, you and I were just chatting about this before we started everything, but socks are like gigantic. It's probably the biggest mover I've seen in a couple of years, especially in the merchandising industry, is socks. And I mean,
wow.
I've got dozens of samples here, but yeah, socks are a huge mover because they can say anything as long as the artwork that we're doing is woven and not sublimated. But even then, you can do sublimated. Socks are probably, Cheryl, it's funny you mentioned that, probably the number one mover next to t-shirts, which are a staple, which I would never say move away from, because people want to prove they do. They want that ownership that they were at an event. Now, I know we're in a climate that we can't be at an event. So negating that, masks, but socks are 100%.
I remember like 30, 40 years ago, even more than that, there were buttons were so popular. You know, these little pins.
Oh yeah, I used to have
and,
jean jacket.
And I just see them. No one does them anymore. It's like, what happened to that?
Except for election day.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to have buttons all over jean jacket too.
I know, me too. It's like, where did they go?
I don't know. Maybe someone should bring them back.
Maybe somebody should. Maybe somebody who's in
everybody out there listening, just order buttons. Just
order buttons.
Button up.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's right. Get pinned. It's awesome.
I think I saw when you had sent the questions. I mean, one of the coolest things that I didn't know was going to happen. I did all the merch for Gordon Lightfoot's 80 years strong tour. So
wow.
I came up with this an acoustic guitar design. I can probably show it to you later somehow. But anyways, they wound up Greg at Merchant Mode, you wound up making it into a coin, a commemorative coin.
Oh,
right.
Cool.
Now you think about it, a shirt you buy, if you wear it all the time, eventually it's done, right? I mean, it may fade or whatever, but I mean, a coin is like almost eternal, right? So I think like that was one of the cool, because I think you had talked, what was something cool that you designed, and this coin is just, I can't believe that my design's actually engraved on a coin, right?
But couldn't you also take that coin and make it into like a necklace?
Yeah, you could, sure.
Anything with it, you could. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, so
that was kind of cool.
I think something fun, just to kind of interject this, is something fun and different as far as a marketing item goes. Again, back to the climate. We're in COVID. Everybody's home. Everybody's on Zoom meetings. But we're also talking about music. Bluetooth speakers and headsets, those earphones. If you can brand those, not only can people listen to music on it, which is super relative to you and whatever you're doing and whatever message you're trying to push out there, but it's also super practical, because when they're not listening to your music, they're going to be listening to their boss scream at them on a Zoom call. So super cool.
That's a great idea.
As an item of practicality, I think that's my suggestion. I'll throw that out to everyone.
Bluetooth speakers. Yeah. They usually, but doesn't Molson Canadian usually does small ones with the case of beer, right? A little Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, you can get the little ones. I mean, obviously there's better ones that go up.
Of course.
I did this one here, which is really cool. It's an old speaker. We did this for apparel promotion.
It's like an old.
That's pretty cool.
Customers.
Yeah, Uline does that. They have a Bluetooth speaker that Uline, with a certain amount of purchase, they give away. So there's lots of companies on that bandwagon. It's a great idea for what's happening nowadays.
But earphones too, super huge.
Yeah, the AirPods, whatever. That's great. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take notes, Dale, because we gotta take note of all these items.
We deliberated over top of our logo too, talking about colors and concepts, and as you can see, it's done, and that's what we came up with. A couple of revisions here and there, but it's basically just 3 colors. So that kind of falls into that category too. So what about somebody like an artist? What would be a good first merch? Like a t-shirt would be the go-to for your first idea concept.
I'd that, and just if you're looking for inexpensive, some stickers.
Stickers, there you go. Okay, perfect.
People like a sticker.
Stickers and tote bags. You held up that bag, Jay. That's nail on the head.
The red
as well.
one,
cost-effective stuff.
That's just a one color print, or is it a white and red?
This one we actually did do 2 colors, the white, I think.
Okay, but if you have a white bag, you really don't need the 2 colors.
Oh no, right? It isn't. Yeah, sorry, it's only a 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of those tricks of the trades we were talking about. You can make a 1 color look like 2 color. When you look at that, you kind of got that pink in the middle, the white, the red, but that's only a red.
Right.
Use the actual fabric as a color. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and I guess what people don't really realize sometimes too is a 2-color design on black is actually a 3-color design, because you need a base color. Right? You got to throw down a white first so that the other colors stand up. So there are just certain things to think about there too. What color you're printing onto, right? Because it can add a little bit of money to the cost.
That's true.
That's right. But wherever you're getting your marketing materials from, they should know this. And I encourage you to ask as many questions as possible to make sure that you're getting the best value and bang for your buck, and that they know what they're saying. Having said that, please use whoever you want, but feel free to reach out to Jay, myself, Cheryl, and we'll lead you in the right direction.
That's interesting, because the next question would have been, what should an artist take into account when choosing merchandise to sell promotional items? And you just covered it right there. Look into the credibility, and yeah.
I think you also have to know your demographics too. Who are your fans, right? Example, Helix, up until now, they had all black shirts, right? It was all black shirts. That's girls, guys, they were all unisex shirts. And I said, well, hey, why don't we design a ladies' tee? You know, a nice V-neck cut with, you know, just a little bit different of a shape, but actually cater to your lady fans if you have lady fans, right? So know your demographics. Don't just print all one style, right? And a lot of times, you know, because I mean, Nolan, you'll know, you can come up with a design, and do you have a minimum order?
Yeah, because there's a setup time. I mean, a little back and behind the curtain stuff. There's a huge setup time when you're creating the screens, when you're creating the images to expose and put onto the units. And
it's the same setup for 25 pieces as it is 100, right? So, right, you'd rather set up and do 100 than set up and do 25 and have to tear it right down, right? So but you know, you can spread that design out over many different kinds of. You could have it go on a guy's shirt, a girl's shirt, a hoodie, a long sleeve, a tank top, right? As long as you're not changing the dimensions of the art. You've
correct. The machine, the equipment, whether it's a screen print machine or an embroidery machine, it's just a machine. It doesn't know what it's printing on. So why I say that is, and there are so many people out there that will tell you you have to order 12 small, 12 medium, 12 large, 12 extra large.
Right.
I want to kind of bust that right now. That's not true. You can order 12 shirts in total, 3, 3, 4, 1, 2. No big deal. The machine doesn't care what it's printing on. It just wants to print. So let us print, let the machine print. And to your point, Jay, absolutely. I mean, you can print on 5 of this shirt, 2 of this shirt, and 1 of that shirt.
I'm going to interject. For those who are just tuning in with us, you are watching GMIHub Online, and we are talking with Nolan M. of Apparel Promotion and Jay Panasico of Studio 73. Both of these guys have had more than 10 years of experience doing merchandising, and on Jay's end, a lot of e-story building, and we're going to get into that. But there was a question that came up I really, really want to bring up, and that is budget. Something that is coming from the audience. They want to know, how much of a budget should one prepare to have or should have on hand if they want to do merchandise and they want to sell merchandise? Any ideas? Or any
loaded
recommendation?
question? Yeah. Loaded question, but here it is. $500.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say 500 to 1,000. That was gonna be my numbers, right? I mean, obviously with 1,000, you got a little bit of padding, but definitely, yeah, you're not gonna do too much for 500.
For less than that.
Yeah.
500 would have to be your minimum. So yeah, 100%.
Wow. And that's just because with $500, just out of curiosity, what could one expect? What's an example of what they can get if they had a $500 budget for merch? Is that like just the t-shirts, for example, or?
Again, so many variables. But yes, if you're going to do $500, let's call it $10 a shirt for the sake of argument. There are so many variables. You're able to get 5 of each size: 5 small, 5 medium, 5 large, 5 extra large, 5 double XL. So at $10 a shirt, that's going to give you a range of shirts for your shirt. It's also going to turn around and you're going to be able to get 25, 50 Bluetooth speakers. So $500 per item that you want to sell. So again, Jay, back to you, but $1,000 would give you that buffer to be able to buy a couple of different items to kind of kick your merch off. But I wouldn't suggest doing more than 2 or 3 items, especially if you're just getting started. Get a customer, start making money, start getting that exposure, and then let the money generate more money for yourself.
Good point. Hope you're taking notes, artists. So $500 minimum. And in terms of choosing the right merchandise for an artist, like each artist, I would say, is unique. Dale, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say that there's different, like a demographic. We're talking about a certain demographic would be what you would think about, what would they purchase? And then you have to think of what could I produce that they would purchase, a whole bunch of variables.
Okay.
But obviously it sounds to me like T-shirts a staple, and then from there you have to look at other ideas outside of that particular concept. Like I had friends of mine in a band, and they had drumsticks that they put their brand on it,
Yeah.
and it was a single stick, so they would sell those, and when you get two of those, it doubles the price, and they would do a discount and you get more. But the drummer of the band at that time was very animated and very, he became a focal point of the performance. So that marketing strategy was based upon him as a personality. So what I was trying to talk about a little bit more about branding can be the person, not just the logo or the music. It can be the individual. So that the image can be the brand. You know what I mean? So if you have the T-shirt, you could have a person's face, not necessarily the logo, and there would be depending on your demographic, of course.
Good point. Good point.
I was just thinking, this is I did the Jukebox Hero, the musical merch.
Oh yeah.
And obviously this is a silhouette of
Right.
the singer, but only we weren't allowed to use his actual image, union and whatever, so we just blacked them out, right?
Yeah, but that says more about the individual, not the logo, which is great.
Right.
We've talked about a budget, a minimum budget. We've talked about branding.
Yeah.
Let's get to eStore.
Yeah.
How do we start an eStore? I'm a rookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you start an e-store? Well, I'm assuming, and I don't like to use that word very much. If you're a band, you should probably have a website, not just a Facebook page, even
Right.
though most of your interactions and stuff will be on Facebook or on some sort of social media platform. But I believe you would probably have a website. So some ways, particular WordPress. WordPress would have WooCommerce, which basically adds an e-store to your website, which you could set up on your own website and set up yourself and take orders. And you're going to get an email and it says so and so ordered, and then you're going to have to take that email and create a shipping label and ship it out yourself, right? So that's doing it your own way. Then you got Wix, and you got all these other what they say free for making websites, but you're going to wind up paying transaction fees, and then there's probably some sort of a monthly fee that goes on top, right? So it was like I was saying earlier to Cheryl, you want to make sure that you're at least earning a set amount of money per week. Otherwise you're going to be losing money on your monthly fees to have your online store. So it's a question of how much, personally, whether you're going to get an e-store or not, which type, it's all going to depend on how the volume of merch that you're selling. At least I think anyways.
Can we back up a bit and explain what e-store means? Because my first thought is Amazon, and you're thinking of eBay used to be, the kind of idea of you look for an item, you have beside a description and the price, and you click add to cart. Is that what it is?
Exactly. That's exactly what that's exactly what an e-store is, right? So it's just basically shopping online. Okay. But it's a question of when the customer completes the order, how do they get the merch? Is it yourself sending it out personally, or do you have a shipping company doing it? Right. And each one of those incrementally increases the cost of doing that business. Right.
Okay, so I know that there are artists that there's artists who will relate to this. There were days when they would order, well, this is when they used to do like CDs. I know that sounds archaic now, but they used to order a huge number of their CDs because they had to, and then it all got stuck in their basement, and they had to ship them out based on, I guess, orders that were coming in. And the same goes with the merch that they would get, whether t-shirts or clothing or whatever they got. Again, they would store them in their basement. But there are some artists these days that are going, we don't want to be the people responsible for shipping stuff out. We want to have someone else do it, like a do a drop ship type of thing. How does one arrange that? Is that something that's arranged with the printer, or are there companies that you'd recommend we as artists would go to? And are there fees involved with that?
Well, Nolan, you were saying that you guys actually do that, right? You actually set that part up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Cheryl, you are correct. There are always fees involved in anything, because that's why any of us are entrepreneurs, right? It's about making money. Now, in the case of what we're doing, it's also about spreading a positive message and getting people excited about the Lord. Opening an e-store is so easy, it's ridiculous. You pick your products with the guidance of Jay, myself, your marketing person. I would suggest not doing too many items, because too many selections mean I'm confused, I'll come back later. You pick a couple of items, you create the e-store, you put the link on your website, you blast that stuff out in social media. Now we know how to do all that. The orders will come in. The orders will come in over a period, whatever that period is, 14 days, 31 days, 45 days. At the end of those days, we tally up the orders and we say, here's what needs to get printed. So for me, on my end, when I do it, I try to steer people away from doing the hard goods for now. Let's do t-shirts, sweaters, hats. Let's do the apparel, the garments. Because I control that. I do it here. So whether you only get one order or whether you got 500 orders, I control that, or we control that. And then we can ship it out from here, because we've already worked in all the shipping. We've worked in everything. So you know that the price per piece for your hat is going to be $15. You're now selling that hat for $25. It's one and done. The math is very easy at the end of the day. If I send you back that you sold 10 hats, you know how much money you made. Did that answer that question? I don't know. That was pretty, to make it simple.
I think it did.
Just to reiterate, in case it was confusing for some people, let me see if I can say it from somebody's point of view. Does that mean that the price that I'm given when I I place an order with you has that in the distribution in the price?
Yes, 95% of the time. The other 5%, Dale, will be if somebody in literally Timbuktu wants one of your hats, we can't work that $3 shipping or that $7 shipping into that, because nobody knows where Timbuktu is unless you have Google. But you get my point, right?
Yeah.
If somebody orders in Taiwan or on a beach in Maui, the
Sure.
shipping will alter. But within Canada, we can say with a certain level of confidence that your shipping will be X. We're going to work that in.
Right.
And it just keeps the numbers simple. Sometimes you're going to be a few cents higher. Sometimes you're going to be a few cents lower. But at the end of the day, Cheryl, for you, you know that I'm going to charge you $15 for a hat, and you know that you sell it for whatever. At the end of the day, there's going to be a check coming back to you, and you've just made some money. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're doing this. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to make some money. You want to build the awareness. You want people wearing your gear and listening to your music. And that's what we do.
If anyone wants to do some drop shipping, we're going to connect you to Nolan.
Yeah, I think what was key, what you said, Nolan, was about not having too much diversity at first, so that you're able to build your sales before you diversify with more items. Most people might look at other artists and what they're doing and say, "Oh, I want this, and maybe that'd be a very unfortunate mistake to make especially if you're first starting out, right?"
Yes. And that's just my opinion. Start small, do one thing, do it right. Let's pick 2 or 3 items. And I think that you should pick 2 or 3 items, do it well, and then let's diversify, or let's do it seasonally. Guess what? Right. Winter's coming. So maybe let's, Jay, like you were saying, let's do some toques and some scarves and some mittens, right? Spring's coming. Guess what? We can make some decisions.
Yeah. I like it. Mm-hmm. I like it. I'm getting some ideas for GMIHub, folks.
Yeah, I think like, for example, like with Shopify and with the way that the company that I work with does it, they have a split with the artist, right? Because they're the merchandising company, so there's a percentage split off the sales off the online stores, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously, you know, one of the things that we really noticed, because this is one thing where you were saying, you know, put that link out on your social media, put it out there. You know, it actually does work, because we get some of the bands that we sell their merch. If they do a merch post, you can literally see your inbox fill up with sales. Ding, 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 ding. But if they go a week and they don't say anything on Facebook, or they don't make any posts about it, you might not see, you might see one come in a week. All of a sudden, you know, the singer, hey, we got a new CD out. all of a sudden you just start seeing ding, 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 right? The sales just start popping. So you really have to, you know, you have to promote yourself too, right? I mean, obviously you're not going to sell anything if nobody knows that you got a store.
Yeah, that's marketing, and totally. You got to get people behind the product to help sell it. That makes sense.
Whatever the story is, everybody has one. Everybody has their own. And as musicians, you guys know, I know. I mean, you tell your story through song and what you have a story. People are going to relate to that, and people are going to buy your product, and people are going to hell. I'm gonna buy something from everybody. Just link me in. I'll buy something from everybody.
There may be a lot of people watching there, Nolan.
Yeah, just contact Nolan. He'll buy it. Yeah, but I think what you said is right on the money. You got to
connect with your story and buy it.
Your story. Absolutely. People connect with that. It's a personal level, right? And when you build those bridges, people are more accessible to your product. That makes total sense.
It does. I have another question from the audience, if that's okay. Any ideas about Bandzoogle for selling merch or I guess / a website?
Sorry, Bandzoogle?
Bandzoogle, Bandzoogle, Bandzoogle.
Bandzoogle. We got to Google this.
Yeah, we got to Google it. We're Googling it right now. Bandzoogle. Okay.
Bandzoogle.
Okay, so Bandzoogle apparently seems like a Wix, but specifically designed for musicians. So it seems like it just gives you all the tools to drag and drop, build a website.
Okay.
Great if that's, you know, if that's the way you want to do it. Personally, I'm not a big fan of all these. I mean, then again, WordPress is a lot drag and drop now too, but I actually do the coding and, you know, come up with things. So you know, it's all about what's the pricing on here, you know, because yeah, so you're paying, yeah. It's about in average with having a website and hosting, right? Because I mean, basically they're going to give you a space to host, and I'd say it's not bad if that's the route you want to go, right? Or you have a web designer design you a website and they can set you up. Like I said, you know, like if you have a WordPress site, you get WooCommerce, it's free, right? That build it into your website, add your products, you get a storefront, you get a shopping cart, you get all those things. You'll connect some sort of transaction method so you can process credit cards, right? Obviously,
right.
Well, I think it's like a 2.7% transaction fee, somewhere along there. Anyways, I don't know. Keeps going up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
but is Shopify the same?
Shopify, yeah, Shopify is the same. You pay a monthly subscription. They have different plan rates. What happens with Shopify is you can get the more money you pay, the higher the package you go, you can get more distribution centers, so more drop ship centers. So, you know, you might have merch, say in Calgary, so you could set up a warehouse in Calgary and ship your merch there. So if anyone buys from that side, it just gets shipped from there, right? Which can cut down on the shipping. I mean, right now, unfortunately, shipping's fairly expensive in Canada right now. Like, you know, Canada Post is sometimes, see, that's something that I find too, that we were running into. Someone orders a CD costs $10 and it costs 20 to ship it.
Yeah.
You know, like all of a sudden you go to throw it in the cart, and the shipping cost is more than what you're buying, right? So that's one of the reasons why working with a drop ship company, you can save some money on shipping, because they're shipping at such volume that their rates are lower, right? So they'll connect to each shipping company and bring you up the best rates at checkout.
Yeah, I guess one of the biggest challenges faced with the artists is they get more units. That means that each individual price is better return of investment, but they got so much merch now, they have to try and get rid of it. So it's so hard to know, you know, the balance.
Yep. Yeah, we did
Start small. Do one thing, do it right. Sell within your area, sell within your demographic, and then grow it from there. How else are you going to be able to calibrate how much money you need to spend, how much money your ROI? Start small and build.
Right.
It's great to think that you're going to get a product and sell it to 1 million people. I would love to be able to do that too. But I think if you can calibrate and pick the right item and sell it properly, you're off to the races. You really are.
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to think of all my little questions, and I'm seeing there. I'm getting a request to change the view here. Multiple e-stores. I know that there are some organizations that do multiple e-stores, few and far between. I don't know if artists necessarily do that. But when it comes to multiple e-stores, based on what you were saying there, Jay, would a person still use the WooCommerce, for example, if they had WordPress and it can make more than one store? Or have you ever had to do that before?
Have I ever had to make more than one store? Like for one artist, usually one store per artist.
Okay.
Now, for example, the merch company that I work with, we have one storefront, but then each band has its own page within that store. So it's one store, Rock Paper Merch. That's the merch company. He works with all of the artists that are on that page. But so if you go to the actual URL, you get a rockpapermerch.com, you get a window, you see all the artists that he works with. But if you go to the actual artist site and I click on store, it's going to take you to just my artist page. But from there, you're able to go shop and buy other artists, right? We did that because, sometimes you may be another artist, you want to buy some of their stuff, and then you can, cut down on the shipping, and so now you're ordering from two different people, right? But all coming from the same store. So, I don't know, like WooCommerce will connect to Facebook, right? So once you do this, if you have your items on Facebook, you can actually have the items from your WooCommerce store display on your Facebook page. When I click buy, it's not processing through Facebook. It actually processes through your online store, right? So there is ways to bring in those stores onto your social media platforms so that you can still sell as well.
Interesting. So a good time to start an e-store. I'm kind of combining in my head, I'm combining the different answers you've given already. So a good time to buy is when our budget is around $500, correct?
Yeah.
I think that's to purchase the merch, though.
Right? Oh, to purchase the
just get merch.
Okay. And that we know we'll be able to make sales of at least how much? 200, 300, something like that?
Well, if you're just selling out of your basement and you're the one who's going to be, packaging and sending off the things, then there really is no minimum amount, right? You bought what you have and you have it on a shelf in your basement, and as the orders come in, you're shipping it out. But if you want to go to, say, Shopify or to one of these paid services where now you're paying warehousing fees and these things, then yeah, you want to make sure that you're making enough money through the week, not only to make you don't want to be breaking even, because then it's just a perpetual, you're not really going anywhere, right? You don't want to be losing money. So you want to be able to be making some money. And I think every time you make money, you reinvest a portion of it into new merch, and you got some money in your pocket, and invest some money in some new merch and keep going. Like Nolan said, start small and build it up, right?
Right.
I would almost in a COVID-free environment, I hate saying that because two different worlds, $500, you're going to put on some performances, you're going to gig a little bit, you have $500, let's get you some merch. Now that we're talking about e-stores, I would almost quantify that $2,500. $2,500 will get you an e-store. It'll get you a couple of products. It'll cover your bases for 60 days. I think you're good with that number. I mean, if that's what we're looking at, hard numbers, there's always something to talk about. There's always a discussion to have. But if you're going to go and do some gigs and have a performance, $500 will get you started. You're going to go online, $2,500 is where I would start. And then you can call a Jay, your current merchandiser, whoever it is. Mm. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
So on the least expensive side for artists, and some items we just talked about, just to recall it, was stickers, patches, buttons, and then for probably the more common one would be your custom T-shirts. But there's also posters, and you can do vinyl print records as well, which are always fun. Tote bags. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But I think for beginners, the stickers, like you said, it would be great, and buttons and patches and stuff like that.
Yeah, and your CDs too, like
Yeah.
we find a lot, let's say, maybe a CD sells for $10, but get the band to autograph it. Now you're selling it for 20, right? So now you're getting a signed CD. So, we do that a lot because that just increases your ROI, or that increases what you're going to get back, right? Because now it has something a little bit special. Like I said, we did a lot of and bundles, right? If you can come up, right? Like sometimes you can take a package, put 3 items together.
Totally.
We had obviously same, non-COVID times, we had looked at doing festival kits, right? Where you go to an outdoor concert. So you got your tote bag, you got a water bottle, you got a little towel, whatever, but everything's all printed with your whatever it happens to be, right? With the festival name or the band name or whatever, but just little things like that. You can just find ways to attract people to your merch, to your brand.
Very
Have an idea of the message you want to send, and have an idea of your budget, and then have a discussion about those 2 things with the person that's going to help you out. And I think that you're going to find that conversation will end very profitable for you.
Good.
But you need to know the message you want to send, and you need to know your budget going in, because that'll help a guy like me come up to me and say, I got $500. This is what I want to do, and this is the message I'm trying to get to my people, my followers, my listeners, my fans. That's an easy solve for me.
Right. Well, one of our leadership team members has always envisioned our logo on a T-shirt. So
Yeah. It's true.
I know a couple of guys. Jay.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
A guy.
So someone just asked, are CDs still relevant? Do you find?
All the bands still print CDs. I think minimum order right now, at least from the companies we go with, are like 300, I think.
Wow.
Usually we got to order about 300. Now, it's actually oddly enough, like a lot of people will put our CDs on sale here, and then someone from the States will like order like 40 or 50 of them and then take them there. And can only assuming they're reselling them there, right? Because you take the exchange rate on the CD here and then take it there, and then they're reselling it. But yeah, I mean, CDs are, I haven't bought a CD in years. I mean, now I get given them because if I do, I'll design the artwork and then they'll send me one. But yeah, I think people still buy CDs, like they still set them on the merch table. But like I said, I think signed ones are a little better. I mean, even vinyl, I've got 6 vinyl now. I don't even have a turntable.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think
I don't even have a turntable, but I got a bunch of brand new vinyl.
Right. Most of those things are collectibles for people who are fans, right? To be honest.
Yeah.
But the difference, I think, between the hard copy and the digital one is you can actually hand it to somebody personally and say, "Here, this is for you. It's a gift."
I still love I still love the size of an LP and the whole. Like, I think I got them right here.
And the big vinyl record you used to use as frisbees. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
totally.
Looking at that, and that's beautiful. You know what I mean? And being able to read the back of it and all of that, it is a lot better than looking at it online or just getting the digital version.
There is value in a tangible marketing item. So your CDs, they're tangible marketing. That's what they are. And they're audible too. Of course, you can listen to them. But there's so much value in being able to hand somebody something, being able to touch something that you've just spent money on. And go into iTunes. Sure, you're going to spend less, but guess what? Then it's in your phone, and then it's just one of another 10,000 songs you have. But if there's something tangible that you can hold and has value to you, that can't be replaced. I don't think we'll ever be able to mimic that in any digital context ever.
Like, it's a great promotional idea as well. If you like, handing out a business card is one way of introducing yourself. But if you want to do that in an artist's way, you have the CD.
Yeah. Well, the merch company I work for, his business card is a guitar pick.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
So
sense.
he hands out guitar picks, right, with his logo on it and phone number.
That's a
on
bit
the
of
back.
branding going into that. Yeah, very good. Now we are coming up to Christmas, and we want to just plug a bit about our Christmas compilation. We've been really blessed to have that just released on the 30th. Was it, Cheryl? October 30th. Sorry, and that is available on gmihub.bandcamp.com. If you go on there right now, you can see the list of artists and songs that are on there, and you can listen, download, and enjoy those. And it would be really good to have your support in that. So I want to let you know about it. gmihub.bandcamp.com, and check out what we've got up there. And we're so glad it's our first project, and we're so glad that it's really amazing to have that done now, isn't it, Cheryl?
It is. It is. And for those of you who have listened and have downloaded, thank you so much for your support. It's not only an encouragement to artists, but it's an encouragement to us, and it's an encouragement to the entire industry, because what we're here to do is encourage unity, community, mentorship, and talent growth. And if there's one industry that should be unified and have a community and have full-fledged mentorship, it should be this one. So thank you so much. Spread the word about this. Dale already gave it to you, but it is, again, gmihub.bandcamp.com. It is our GMI Hub Family Christmas Volume 1 CD. It has a variety of styles on there, from original music with original artists. Gotta listen to this. Now, because we've been talking about merchandising, I am so curious from this audience. Can we do a poll? I want to do a poll. I want you to write down in the chat, if GMI Hub were to put the CD with another item, like a promotional item, what would it be? What would you find valuable?
Yeah, if you
I want to know.
Merchandising item to this, if it was a CD, physical CD, what would you like to have with it?
Yeah. Now we've heard some ideas, right?
Yes,
Jay and Nolan have come up with ideas that were pretty awesome. They've talked about the winter season coming up. Why not toques, mitts, scarves?
Right. Yeah.
We've talked about socks. I like Christmas socks.
Yeah, I like socks.
But if there are other items, there's t-shirts,
Ugly
and
sweaters.
Ugly
Christmas sweaters.
Ugly Christmas sweaters. Yeah, actually, that's I'd like to design one of those for sure.
Oh, that's so cool. I love ugly Christmas sweaters. They're the best.
We've got one item mentioned. It was a CD player. So let's see what else comes up.
CD player?
Go with the CD.
The cheap idea, dude. Yeah.
I don't know how to use this thing, but how do you type in 8-track? I don't know.
Yeah, that'll work.
Or
reel to reel.
Reel to reel.
Reel to reel.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're going real back.
That player.
Well, I guess with being digital, like even do you guys, you don't do USB sticks, do you, Nolan? Do you guys? That's
an idea.
You do them? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were doing USB sticks.
We talked about that, actually. It's funny you mentioned that. We talked about putting the songs.
People ask for USB sticks, and my go-to is don't do them. They're dumb. That really is. That's don't do them. They're dumb. They are. Having said that, if you are going to do them properly. And what I mean by that is, don't go with the 2 gig or the 4 gig. Maybe you get 8 or 16 so that it has space. Do it so that you've already preloaded it with information. So you're going to send out a 16 gig USB key with your logo on it. Guess what? On that, there is going to be all the dates for all the GMI hubs. There's going to be some tracks, some music. There's going to be a couple of maybe things from your special guest speakers talking about themselves. So there's more value in that. It's not just a USB stick. That USB stick now has a value to it, and it's got music on it, and it's got do more with it. Don't just print it and give it. Yes, preload it with stuff.
That is a great idea, because we have a lot of interviews with a lot of really incredible people, and we can take excerpts and things. Yeah. Anyway, my mind's going like crazy now, thinking.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could dump, I guess, you record all these Zooms, all that kind of stuff, right? The year in review, whatever. I mean, there's just a way, but the USB sticks, I've probably got 100 of them kicking around. I don't know where they all are, right? But yeah, it's just something that you can walk home, plug it in, and and
So
your information
whatever it
there.
is, whether it's the USB key or a pen or whatever it is, all things being equal, what makes yours better? What makes yours
Right.
GMI better? What makes your listener, musician, artist, what makes yours better? If you can answer that question, do that product. Why? What makes yours a little bit different and better if all things are equal?
Right.
And that's to the USB point. What makes it a little bit better is that it's preloaded with information that's valuable.
Yeah.
Right. It's got a great message on it. It's got your story on it. It's got excerpts on it.
I have one more question about pre-sales. And I don't know if this makes any difference with creating an e-store, but if someone has the idea of wanting to pre-sell their items before they even ask you for them or purchase them, for example, I don't know if that's a smart idea, but I'm just kind of curious, what's your take on that? If someone decides they want to do an e-store, they don't have their items yet, or they may have an idea of what items they want to have, and they do a pre-sale or promote a pre-sale of those items. What's your thought on that? Is that a good thing, and not a good thing? What are you thinking here?
I think, how do you know what you're going to sell them for if you don't know how much they're going to cost you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should have everything in place, ready to go.
Yes.
So you know what your costs are going to be in the end. Like, don't just go throw some items, say, well, I think I'm going to print this shirt, I think, and this is what it's going to look like, and do you want to buy them, and then whatever, right? Because yeah, if you haven't talked to Nolan, myself, whoever, you don't know what the cost per piece is going to be. You don't know whatever. So be ready to go. And, because obviously too, I think it's going to be, I don't want to use, I'm trying to think of the right word, but you don't want to start a pre-sale, get 20 orders where you were hoping for 100 and then have to tell those 20 people, oh, well, I can't do it. Right. Because I've already signed up. I've already possibly paid my money. Now it looks bad, right? So you want to make sure.
Or worse, you've gone ahead and sold them for $15 and they cost you $16.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. There you go.
Talk to us. And again, I'll reiterate what I said earlier. Please feel free to call me or I don't want to speak for Jay or Cheryl. You don't have to get stuff from me. You don't have to get stuff from Jay, but we will help you and we will tell you what you need to know so that you can go forward, make a difference, make an impact, be awesome.
Okay, great.
Definitely.
I've had a great time with you guys. I appreciate your time this evening. It's been fabulous having you on the show. I always like to ask a question that if you had 3 points, think of those 3 points, you would give advice to someone who is starting up maybe they're a artist who is, of course, COVID has stumped them in as far as performances, but they're hoping to get some traction. It may not be merchandising, it may be nothing to do with it, but maybe there's 3 things that you could say, this, and this are the 3 things you might think about going forward, to maybe help with your branding, merchandising, or whatever.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say, get your brand, get it designed, get your color scheme, get everything. Believe in your brand, right? You got to believe in what you got to be behind what you got. You got to be out there and you got to push it every day. Don't turn down an opportunity to play wherever that may be, because you never know where it's going to lead, right? And the more times you get out there and play, every time you say no is a chance someone didn't see you, right? So get out there and play.
That's good.
And basically just don't stop. I mean, you got to hit the pavement every day. You got to be out there pushing your brand, or it's not going to become successful. You got to wake up every day with the fact that this is my brand, this is what I do, and I want you to know about it, right? And you're going to find out every single method to get your word out there. Those would be my 3.
So now I got to come up with a different 3. Those are perfect. Jay, what are you doing to me, bro?
Yeah, right.
I got to come up with this amazing 3. All right, you know what? Follow your heart. Follow what you're being told to do, because that's the right thing. So pray on it. Follow your gut. Whatever you choose to do is the right thing. Stick with it. Mine's a little less economical, I guess, but smile. Maya Angelou said it. People might forget your name. They might forget what you've said, but they're never going to forget how you make them feel. Make people feel great every single day. And then third and finally, get a customer, get a following. You can't make money if nobody's buying from you. And it's not always about money. Get a customer. So again, pick those 3 products. Let's focus on those 3 products, push those 3 products, then we diversify. That's what I got.
Good stuff. No, that's great, because there's probably somebody out there right now who's going, I don't know where to start. This is crazy. It's overwhelming.
One step is how you
start by listening to GMIHub.
Yeah, the longest journey. Stop one step at a time is what they say. The longest.
Yeah, well, I mean, it always. I find even myself, if I'll be flustered on trying to get a design or whatever, and I'll be trying to come up with it in my mind. I'll sit down and I'm like, I can't. Oh, it's not coming to me. It's not coming to me. And then I'll turn the computer on, and you just one keystroke or one something, that first step into the design or into it, all of a sudden, everything just changed. The whole feeling, you get. It starts to come to you, right? So yeah, you got to when you don't know when to start, or where to start, you can almost just pick a spot and just start, because
sometimes it can be different things. Like sometimes it can be a color, or sometimes it can be a font, or sometimes it can be an image, and that's the starting point. They're all different, right?
Right.
Reach out to the GMI community. I'm sure somebody's going through the exact same struggle, has the exact same question that any one of us has, and perhaps there's an answer, or somebody's already dealt with it. And worst case scenario, I know Jay has talked to so many people with the same questions you have, and me too. So happy to help.
Yeah. Once again, thank you guys. It's been a real blessing having you on the show. I want to remind all those of you who are watching right now, if you have the chance to share this experience, please do that. Link in your friends. You can drop our link from our YouTube channel into their timeline or be evasive. I don't care. Just let them know about us, because they might benefit from what we have. And we have a library of videos up on our YouTube channel, GMI Hub Online. It's just incredible amount of individuals that have an incredible amount of knowledge when it comes to the arts and entertainment industry and the Christian industry. And so we want you just to take advantage of that.
And you guys have said it all, so I don't have much else to say, except we're going to be back next week. Once again, we also want to remind you again that we did launch the CD again, and that you have opportunity to purchase and show support. Like, we can say it's an item to sell, but it's not just about selling. It's about supporting and encouraging artists to actually to come out of the shells that they've been in, if you want to call it that, and to use their talents for God's glory. So feel free to go to, again, gmihub.bandcamp.com, and check out the music. You can listen to it. There's, like I said, there's a variety. We've got from rock, believe it or not, we've got rock music, we have got crooner type music, and we have got soca. Believe it or not, we've got soca. Don't believe me? Go check it out.
Yeah, it's true. A wide spectrum of music. We know that anybody would listen to all this stuff and enjoy one song, because it's a wide spectrum.
It is a wide spectrum. So go and check that out. And Nolan and Jay, I know Dale has thanked you, but I want to thank you guys. You two are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge, sharing your talent, and even beyond, sharing your mentorship. I love it. I love it so much. I'm going to call you guys because I want to ask you about all this stuff for GMIHub. So
we're going to follow up on this, because we want to start the traction and get this going, because this year is coming to an end and we got a whole year ahead of us that we're looking forward to growing.
So yes, so we're going to be contacting you guys. In the meantime, this has been recorded, and we will be putting their websites on our description on YouTube. So if you have any questions and you want to follow up with these guys yourselves, their websites are going to be there. Their contact information is going to be there. So yes, hit them up, because you know what? They've spent the time to mentor us. So let them mentor you. Yeah. Okay. We're going to be back next week. Next week is Studio Talk with Daryl Dewick being the host. So tune in, but in the meantime, have yourself a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.